If you are gay, being gay is probably just one simple part of your identity and who you are, just like all of the other things that make you you. So, your ambition, your character, your culture, your values. But for some reason, the world around us has made being gay seem like such a big deal. Oh my god, gay! Don't be gay! And as a result, many people who are gay have had to navigate challenges and obstacles that most people won't have to and never ever will. Environments where being yourself came at a cost. Families that only loved you on the condition of you hiding yourself. Or relationships and friendships that you felt like you had to stay in because you had nowhere else to go. And in many of these situations, money doesn't magically fix everything. Of course it doesn't. But it does do one thing. It gives you the ability to never, ever have to stay in a situation or in an environment that doesn't serve you. So today, as someone who works in banking myself, I am going to show you why if you are gay, you need to get rich. Or in other words, you need to make sure you have your own money and you're financially independent. The world isn't as progressive as they say it is. People love to act like the world right now is so progressive. Oh my god, we've come so far, things are so much better now. But progress is simply progress. It doesn't mean that everything is perfect. It just means that things aren't as bad as they used to be. Because the data here is still uncomfortable. I hate talking about this stuff because it sounds negative, but it's the truth. Gay men are still statistically more likely to face family rejection, to face housing instability, to face different forms of discrimination. And being gay is literally a criminal offense in 64 countries around the world. 64 countries, even in the country that my parents are from, it's illegal to be gay. So while things are better, better isn't enough. And we see this happen with our own eyes. You see all of these big corporations, they change their logos to rainbow colors in June because it's Pride Month. But then for most of us, we still experience homophobia in the real world. Even me, I've experienced it for absolutely no reason, for doing nothing, for just existing. So yes, the world does seem progressive and we have progressed, but there is still so much prejudice around the world. It's just a bit quieter now. So you have to remember that when the system isn't fully built for you, you cannot rely on the world around you to catch you. You cannot rely on all of your family to always be there for you. You cannot rely on the workplace to always be fair to you. There are many things that you can and cannot rely on in this world as a gay man, which means that the only thing that can give you and build you real security is building that security for yourself, where wealth isn't just a nice to have if you're a gay man, but it's a must, it's a necessity. And by wealth, I don't mean, oh, you have to be a multimillionaire, but I mean having your own money, having your own income, having your own assets and your own investments. Because when you have your own money, prejudice and hostility, they don't go away. We live in a very cruel world, but they simply begin to lose power in your life because you are independent. You don't have to depend on anyone. Freedom to be yourself. The sad reality here is that a lot of gay men start off and start their lives in environments that fundamentally work against them, where simply existing as a man who is attracted to other men feels like this kind of act of defiance or rebellion. Simply existing authentically feels like this political statement and like you're trying to go against what everyone wants you to do. But none of us choose that. None of us choose to be gay. Our lives for both of us would be 10 times easier if we were straight. If we could choose that, a lot of us would. It'd make life so easy. And in the exact same way, we also don't get to choose what families we are born into, what communities we are born into, what lives we are born into. For example, for me, I was born into a Muslim family. You guys can only imagine how much hassle that is for me. But the hard thing to kind of accept is that there is one thing that we can choose, even if we feel like we can't. But we can choose the lives that we want to live. Our past is fixed, but our future is not. Our future is what we make it. Because financial independence doesn't just give you the ability to leave situations or environments that are hurting you, but it also gives you the ability to create a life that you actually want for yourself. Create a life that actually nourishes you and allows you to become the best version of yourself in the right city with the right people in the right environment. That's what having money does. That's what it gives you. Healing costs money. Amongst gay men, there is this level of consistent pain that doesn't really get talked about properly. Because I don't even have that many gay friends and I'm not heavily in the gay community, but I've seen it for myself. I have seen the self-destruction with my own eyes. I have seen the casual sex and promiscuity that is dressed up as sexual liberation or dressed up as, oh, we're being fun and we're having fun. But in reality, it's a bunch of people searching for connection and searching for intimacy. I've seen the cattiness and the competition between people who should be supporting each other and lifting each other up. And for a long time, I didn't really understand it. And it's something that made me upset because none of this makes sense to me. But as I grew up, I realized that so much of it is trauma. So much of it is unresolved trauma that is just festering in the gay community. But here's one thing I want to say, and I say this with no judgment at all, because we're all humans, no one's perfect. I am definitely not perfect. But you see, when you have unresolved trauma that you decide that you don't want to deal with, that you just want to push it to the side, that trauma will always make decisions for you. That trauma will always push your life into a negative direction that you don't want it to go into. And it will keep you stuck in cycles that you don't understand. It will keep you behaving in a certain way that you don't understand. And I say this firsthand as someone who's in my late 20s, I've spent so much time in therapy in my early 20s. And it genuinely changed my life. The confidence, the self-assuredness, the warmth that people feel from me, it doesn't just come out of nowhere. It comes from me doing the work and doing the inner work. And it's really tough, I'll be so honest with you guys, but we all have to do it if we want to become better. But the problem here is that healing costs money, therapy costs money. So you see here, financial independence doesn't just give you the ability to move out of environments that are hostile towards you, but it also gives you the ability to access your own healing. It gives you the ability to access a calmer, more peaceful, more stable version of yourself. It allows you to access the true version of yourself, not the version of yourself that's responding to trauma. Your unfair advantage as a gay man. You may not realize it, but if you are a gay man, you're actually really lucky in a very specific way. Because society has never ever told you how to live as a gay man. So you are completely free to build life on your own terms. Think about it. For the traditional straight man or straight woman or straight couple, there is this invisible pressure to hit certain milestones. For example, like in your late 20s, you should be in a serious relationship. And then in your early 30s, you should be married or thinking about marriage and thinking about kids and thinking about a mortgage. Where even if that's not what they want, they still feel that pressure. But as a gay man, your unfair advantage is the fact that you have freedom. Where unlike straight people, you aren't bound to societal timelines. You don't have to do things by a certain age, or you don't have to achieve this by a certain point in life. Marriage, kids, mortgages, all of this stuff, they are things that you can decide on your own terms, and you can decide if you even want them. For example, for me, I don't even know if I want kids. Look at the state of the world. Do I want kids? And what that means is that you can make financial decisions that are based on what you actually want out of life, not what society expects from you. And it can feel so scary at first because as humans, we naturally want certainty, we naturally kind of want structure. But it's one of the most underrated financial advantages that we have. As you will have more flexibility, you will probably have more disposable income in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. So in many ways, being rich or having your own money isn't something that is important for you if you are a gay man. But it's also something that actually can realistically be achieved if you go about things in the right way. And I think the final thing I want to say is that we really owe this to each other. Because getting rich and having your own money as a gay man was never just about the money. Of course it isn't. It's so much more than that. Because I'll be so honest with you guys, for a long time, I was quite selfish. I only cared about my success, my career, my life, and building that all for Mahad. What does Mahad want? And honestly, a lot of gay men are the same, as we spent a lot of our lives trying to just survive in some way, shape, or form. So thinking about anyone else outside of ourselves just feels like a luxury that we can't afford. And I'm not asking you to become an activist. I don't class myself as an activist. I'm just someone who's trying to live my life authentically, where once again, being gay is just such a small part of who I am. Like there are so many far more interesting parts of Mahad than me being gay. But what we have to remember is that our actions do not exist in isolation. What we do affects each other. And when you do well, when you change your life, when you have your own money, then you begin having the power to actually change the world for people like you. So yes, become financially independent, become wealthy, get all of the nice things that you know that you want and you deserve. But let it mean something beyond yourself. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I hope you found it valuable. If you would like more videos like this, make sure you comment down below because we are going to get our money up, not our money up.